Here's Brody Brazil.
What is the scouting report on David Quinn? I'm not going to even pretend to know much more than his bio and the nice things people say about him. I like the fact that he knows how to coach up young players.
That's exactly it. He knows how to coach up young guys. He was in a very, very tough situation at the end in New York. Whenever coach gets fired,
right?
There was a push on him to make their development, their redevelopment, go quicker.
Right.
And when Jeff Gorton and John Davidson were let go, they put the fast track there. They had some nice pieces, but David Quinn was a guy who worked well with young guys, has worked well throughout his career with young guys. From what I'm told, is very, very close to the players. He shows that he believes in the players. He supports the players, knows they've got his back. Some say in New York, he's got to back off a little bit from that, let the guys grow a little bit on their own. Sometimes it can't always be about the guy behind the bench, but David is, I think, the guy right now that if you're looking for a calm demeanor behind the bench, if you're looking for a guy who's invested long-term, if you're looking for a guy who can work with players and get a coaching staff that can work with players as well and help them become individually better, he's the guy for the job. Larry Brooks. Did you see what Larry Brooks wrote about him?
No.
Larry Brooks.
I can only imagine, though.
New York Post.
Yeah.
I'm paraphrasing.
You mean Dan Boyle's close personal friend, right, Larry
exactly.
Brooks?
And John Tortorella's too, exactly. Larry Brooks said one of, if not the nicest man he's ever met in this business.
Wow. Well, and
yeah,
I was going to say the presentation during his press conference alone is enough to make you realize he knows how to address a group of people. He knows how to present. And I think as much as you could have all the right X's and O's and the tactical and strategical answers to being a head coach and with your coaching staff, sometimes it's the presentation to the players that wins them over or that goes that extra mile. Anyway, he acts and looks the part. And that's just me saying that at the surface level. I do think there is something to that.
I agree. I agree 100%. I like the connection to the U.S. colleges that he has.
Yeah.
I think that's important when you look at U.S. college and helping grow players. That's, to me, one of the best places to go, if not the best. I know it's coming from a Western Canadian where you don't think it's blasphemy, but I had a guy at the gym ask me the other day. He was talking to his trainer.
You're at the gym? No.
Yes, shocker.
Wow.
But plus, I never let up an opportunity to say I was at the gym. So,
which time? First or second time of the day? Which
just was the first time of the day. So there's a guy talking to his trainer about hockey and about where can I get a stick bag and where was blah blah blah, because my son's going to BU for a camp and so the trainer says ask him right there. And this guy's a doctor. His wife's a doctor, and the kid's a pretty good player, about 15 years old. He's going for a camp of some sort at Boston University. And he said, if you had the opportunity with your sons, would you send them to the WHL? Because my son's got a chance to go to the WHL or college. I went, college. And they looked at me, and pardon me, I said college, like that. Because you grow as a person, you grow as a player, because you've got more time to develop both the skills as a person and the skills as a player. So I like that for David Quinn. I also look at David Quinn and I think to myself, I agree, the presentation with David is important. His presentation is another guy like Mike, in control, calm, relaxed. Now he gets fired up behind the bench, but he doesn't.
Right.
But I like the way that David comes across. And I think that will be beneficial. Plus, you have to have guys now, Brody, as we know, guys who are willing to, as a general manager, invest in this coach for a long time.
Right.
Because you look at good teams, best team in the NHL, Jared Bednar, right? He was coaching, and their first year, I think they won 22 games.
Right.
Something like that. John Cooper, when he came in, he's been there 10 years. Okay. They weren't very good, the Tampa Bay Lightning. I think they won, I can't remember what it was, but I think it was around the 20 number mark too when he took over. And you look at the coaches that have been with the teams that are longest. Those are the teams that are successful.
Yeah. And I agree. And I think some people will look at the Sharks' whole process of, and obviously a lot of it was predicated on Doug's health, but the timing of hiring a new GM, and then some people were surprised that Bob Boughner and his coaching staff were dismissed. Like, wait, this is pretty late in the game, but I don't think the Sharks panicked. They knew there were options out there and coaching commodities out there.
Yeah.
And I think looking back, again, for the situation at hand, I think what you said before is Quinn and company fit the role that the Sharks need most right now. Coach young players, somebody, and you know what else too is, and I forget who exactly the first person I heard say this was, but your second time around as an NHL coach, how many things do you think he either lost sleep over and said, if I get this next chance, I will do this differently. Here's how I will improve. And that's why there's all these references to David Quinn's time in New York and this and that. And I'm almost like, okay, I'll listen to about 5 seconds of that. But what matters most is how he bounces back from that, good or bad. Like, what do you take and what's the next step for you? So
yeah, you're a better coach the day you got fired than the day they hired you.
Well, you would know that.
Yeah, I think I'm a great
better
coach.
Broadcaster, better everything.
I'm an outstanding coach right now. I may be the best coach I know right now because I get to sit back from 1,000 feet up and go, But honestly, when I went from San Jose to Kansas City with Vasily Tikhonov, the late great Vasily Tikhonov, I was a much better coach when they let me go.
Yeah.
I was smarter. I learned how to deal with players better. I wasn't as in awe with the players as I was, when I first started.
Sure.
You become more seasoned, more experienced, and you can only get experience through putting the work in and putting the grind in.